Ladies and gentlemen, just in time for Whiskey Wednesday, where he makes Gino's show somewhat watchable. We got him to come in a little earlier. Oh, and look, he's celebrating Ash Wednesday. Happy Look at Me on Catholic Day. Kevin Dombrowski is back. How are you, buddy?
I'm tired. How are you?
Well, you know what? Being a father is a full-time job, and I don't know one father that isn't always tired.
Not only a father, but a homeowner.
Sure.
And I saw your recent post about raccoons being more troublesome and bothersome than Gino, which I find hard to believe.
They look alike. Gino has a raccoonish quality.
They do. They both have dark eyes. They steal your soul. They're alcoholics. Can we say that?
Well, I mean, they go through trash, so I'm sure there's half-empty beer cans.
You know what? Raccoons are more selective than Gino. Gino will just eat out of the trash. Raccoons will throw away what they don't want.
Yeah.
This is continuing his homeless theme of Friday.
They're all just hanging out.
Just, like any animal that can text you, "I'm here," isn't an animal that I want. They can use their fingers.
I know. They have like long little fingers.
They do. They because like I'm very afraid of wildlife, and I know it's like a cliche New York thing to say, but I'm actually like if you would listen to like my wife grew up in Tahoe in Wyoming, so like when I went to Wyoming with her, it was like my cousin Vinny. Like every other, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like I legitimately, this is not a bit, thought buffalo were extinct. I didn't know that they were still real. So when I saw them, I was like, what fucking year is it here? I'm an idiot wherever I go. So now that I live in an area where there's like actual wildlife, I'm terrified of it because I don't really have experience with it. You know what I mean? Like it really sounds like a stupid cliche New York joke, but it's more of like it's like my personal fucking hell is like coming home. It's so dark on my block. I want fucking floodlights like The Godfather. Like I want him dead. I want his family dead. So I'm like the first week I was really afraid of like it's so dumb. I was afraid to come home at night because I'm coming home at like 1 a.m. now instead of like 11 or midnight from from gigs. So I'm like it's like 1:30 and I'm just like I've got my fucking iPhone flashlight on.
Yeah.
I also locked myself out of my house for the first time the other day and had to break in. What is it?
Yeah, I'm
it
now like, what is that?
I thought I was hearing something. I was like, what the fuck is that? Dude, it's fucking terrifying. But like, what is that?
It sounds like you're waiting in line for a Disney ride. And they're trying to keep your attention like woodland themed.
It was Disney ride sound effects, so you know.
Is it really?
No, like bears fucking destroy your shit, but like every one of my neighbors like, oh, they're just small bears, and I'm like, that's a big animal.
Yeah.
So they'll run away, but like, dude, raccoons are like, they're no fucking joke. I'm like campaigning to like eradicate them.
Yeah.
So on board.
We've let them evolve to a point where they can decide what they want out of your garbage, and that's not an animal that we should allow to live.
That is, forget about Planet of the Apes. It's going to be Planet of the Raccoon.
That's what I'm saying.
But what do they prefer out of your trash?
Dude, there is just like there's like bites of something and no, it's like that. It like you can see a detailed like dinner party that they've had in my driveway, and it bothers me.
This is a Disney movie.
I'd rather there be just like fucking crumbs. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather you demolish everything and leave.
Right.
But like the one raccoon like untied a bag. That's like
Whoa.
dude, that's a level of dangerous I don't think we're prepared for. Like I think humans are worried about AI. We should be worried about fucking raccoons that have fingers that they know how to use.
Why do we like any animal that's smart? I look at that as a threat.
We let some of them host our shows.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the space raccoon.
Joanne, I said smart.
Oh, the Loris.
Have long fingers. From special to special? I don't know. I love this New York Times article.
Thank you. Two could play at this game.
I think my friend could be autistic. Do I tell her?
Oh, this is great.
It's just, the headline is so funny. In light of my friend's personality and the kind of intimate details we've shared, I'm quite confident she does not actively consider herself to be on the spectrum. I am struggling with the ethics of broaching the subject and whether or not I am even in a position to contemplate bringing it up. I'm a healthcare professional. Oh, then sure. But I'm not a psychiatrist and would never want to cause her unnecessary pain if I were to be wrong. But given how Asperger's is underdiagnosed in women and the improvements in quality of life a diagnosis could potentially bring, I wonder how I could open this subject, if I even should, without hurting her feelings and inadvertently pushing her further away from seriously exploring this possibility. Ultimately, I'm quite sure that she would want to know if this is why she's having trouble making and keeping friends, and why she frequently feels isolated and lonely. Increasingly, some people who are on the spectrum have sought to reclaim an identity that isn't just an artifact of the DSM. I don't know what that stands for.
Dick sucking mouth?
I don't know.
We found one.
And it's shifting diagnosis categories. Communities have formed, helpful information is pulled, blah, blah, blah. You are her friend, not her therapist, and that you should approach the topic with care and sensitivity, invite her to look into this possibility, but the choice to do so is for her to make.
By the way, I love the illustrator's interpretation of what Asperger's is like. It's like you're in a painting class, but one person's painting something
I
else.
also love the blah blah. Was the blah 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 in there, or do you
Sure
have
was.
Asperger's?
Thanks, New York Times. Okay, Kevin, you...
Go on.
You're on the spectrum.
No. The comedy community.
Yeah.
There's people with a whole fucking host of issues.
Sure.
Have you ever broached a sensitive topic with another comic about either choices they're making, things you might be wrong, things that you think could actually help them?
Sure. Every Wednesday, 2 to 3:30. Right on this.
You've been doing a great job then.
No, sorry.
He's on a juice
Sorry. You said comedy community.
Yes.
No,
It's old.
no, I haven't. I don't. No. I talk to comics that can hold eye contact in a conversation. I don't like talking to comics
Right.
that I wouldn't be friends with if we didn't do comedy.
Sure.
Because it makes me uncomfortable
Yeah.
to not be able to talk to someone that can function. And I'm not trying to like berate the autistic community or the spectrum community, because I'm sure I'm also on it.
Oh, I guarantee you are.
Yeah. There's different parts of my brain that you would go, oh, holy shit. That's why you do this.
Yeah.
But I'm uncomfortable talking to people that stare at their shoes. So I don't have those conversations with people. I also, I love that this came out like a table read, by the way.
I know. Well, that's the New York Times for you. The way they write is, was this an advice column? I don't know.
But this was beautifully read, and you should never read anything on air, or let her go last. That's,
Thank you.
sorry.
Here's how you get in his good graces. You have to go, I'm sorry.
I can't stay
He's
mad at
he's gonna
you.
pull a pickup over and fight you in the middle of the street if you do that.
That's the raccoon ears.
That was a nice raccoon. I like that one.
I think there's a comic. His name's Daniel Simonson. He's from Norway. He's outstanding, and he's got a great joke.
Picture Norway being funny.
Well, that's what I mean. That's like he's a brilliant writer, but his delivery is through a what is it? A Norway accent? Norrish?
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Norrish.
Viking. I don't know what you say. A Norway accent, and he says it in Norway in his head, and then he says it in English out loud. So the spacing of everything adds to it. It's not. Look, I'm gonna unconfirm your worst fears. It's not because you have the accent that you're funny. What she says on stage, people think it's a character he created. And he's like, why would I create this?
Yeah.
He was like, what a brutal hell. But he's absolutely hilarious, and he's a brilliant writer. And he's got a joke about how someone a woman told him he was autistic. And she thinks he's autistic, and he's just shy and foreign.
Yeah.
And,
He just has an accent.
right, and he compares like, would a man let that slide or tell me, or like she said it within like I don't want to ruin his whole bit, but she said it like right away to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck is the difference there? So I think this is more playing off of that of okay, like guy to guy. Would you tell someone you're autistic, or would you not give a fuck?
It's great. That's when these columns are at their best, when you really have like, you go back and forth on it. Oh, sitting on the fence, maybe. I think that now it's a point of pride when people have Asperger's. It's very strange.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's very cool. Like people who don't have it are like,
Well,
I think I'm on the spectrum.
It's a huge TikTok thing now, where people who have been diagnosed as adults with Asperger's or certain forms of autism then share what it was about them the signs or symptoms.
Being on TikTok.
Exactly.
And actually counting the minutes.
and then saying, this is what happened to me. But, definitely talk to a doctor about it. But people are like self-diagnosing. And I almost had that moment when I was watching some of these TikToks because I hate loud noises.
You do.
Like, truly, Douglas has to warn me if he's going to use the blender or start the vacuum cleaner because I find it so abrasive.
What do you do? What happens? Where do you go in your head?
I need to leave the room, or I need to be distracted, or if I'm walking down the street and there's a siren, I'm that asshole who's like, I have to put my fingers in my ears. But I think it's just that I don't like loud noises. I don't know that there's much more to it.
I mean, there's definitely a sociopath in you. And some might say that could be a part of being on the spectrum. I don't know, no disrespect to the non-sociopathic Asperger sufferers out there. But people seem to think that this is like a cool personality quirk now.
Okay, so
and also, always be very careful of self-diagnose.
Sure.
I don't believe there is.
Yeah, but would you rather your friend diagnose you, who also isn't a doctor?
That's the
or
thing.
is that hurtful?
She should just keep her
She's a
mouth shut, right?
bitch. This woman is a bitch that wrote the column.
No, wait, is this how she's telling her friend?
Yes,
By
100%.
writing an article
She's like,
for
what do
the
you
New
think I
York
should
Times?
do, America? As I hit publish, you're a fucking asshole for
Anyway,
typing
here's
that.
her TikTok channel.
Right.
First I'm talking
Or is it about her that she has trouble making and keeping friends? I don't know. The girl who wrote this, I doubt she has many.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, to credit Daniel Simonson's bit because he says, what would a guy do? What would a girl do in this situation? I think that's a good point to make there. But in the fact that this is a woman, it is a woman writing an article, right?
I think it's a woman, yeah.
It sounds like a woman.
It says name withheld, but...
Yeah. Well, no guy would say that. It's very well written. It's got to be a woman.
Steve. Not you, Steve. A different Steve.
I think there's something wrong with your brain.
Yeah. This woman to fucking publish shit like that, I fucking hate people. This is like going on Twitter and being like, hey, I'm in Toronto. What should I do today? I don't know. Fucking Google it,
I was
dude.
gonna
Yeah.
say,
Be an adult. Stop
Far
letting
near
people
me.
tell you what to do. I
Yeah.
fucking hate comics do that shit all the time. That's like, oh, I need a recommendation for a thing. Yeah, I recommend you download Yelp and look at the fucking reviews like an adult.
Yeah.
That to me is the same thing where it's like, I've got a friend and I think she might be autistic. What do you guys think? Should I tell her? Vote yes in the comments.
Yeah.
Hit subscribe and smash that like button.
Whatever the poll says is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Think thoughtfully about it.
And you don't think the internet's going to steer you in the wrong way to be like, you should definitely tell her and then film it and then
And also
post
kill
that.
yourself.
It is fucking insane. Okay, so if we were on, what's the tail end of the spectrum to the head of the spectrum?
The less
it's a
social
sperm.
cues you can read, the more that you are really getting into Dustin Hoffman territory.
Sure.
So and I think that
No, that's where the spectrum comes in. It's like a circle. There are different things like tactile fixation, social cues. It's more of a circle than it is a straight line. It's not like you get more autistic. It's about what affects you.
But is it at all a Venn diagram and right in the middle,
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
okay.
For example, if you wrote an article because you couldn't tell the social norm of telling your friend you have autism, that might be one end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
great point.
I have seen the Raymond, and it is you, the
What is-
author of the article.
What does Frank have? Because he just keeps sitting in the back staring.
Morbid obesity.
Can we diagnose if we were all to be on the spectrum? Is there symptoms or something that we can look at?
If I dropped a bunch of pens on the floor,
Sure.
could you count them instantaneously?
Oh, God, I don't think I would. I
Then
would.
you're not the type of autistic people care about.
Fair enough. I would have anxiety about the mess on the ground.
Did you drop it on a tile floor? Did it make a really loud noise? Because I would
Yeah.
hate that.
I gave you a heads up, though.
Am I the only one in this studio that
doesn't have pens?
Asperger's? I'm starting to
Bill
diagnose
would just
both of you
leave
right
them
now.
there.
Yeah.
Be like, free pens.
Bill would go, can you sleep on that? That's actually Bill just making his bed, dropping a pile of pens on the ground.